Hi, I'm Zach from CoreXL, and what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a complete guide of how to fix anyone's hamstring. And you can either pull the hamstring more on the medial side of the hamstring, okay, more into the tendinosus, or you can pull your hamstring more onto the lateral side, the biceps femoris. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in the anatomy. I'm going to explain why these pulls occur in these different locations, and then I'm going to show you two cases that I had that I was able to fix. One with an inside hamstring pull and one with an outside hamstring pull. And I'm going to have those clients demonstrate the exercises that fix them. So here's the glute max here, okay? Here is the biceps femoris, okay, the lateral portion of the hamstring. And here is the semitendinosus, which is the medial portion of the hamstring. You also have the semimembranosus, okay? And here's your glute max. So every time you hip extend, okay, these are your primary movers of hip extension. It's important to understand if we hide this here, okay, your glute medius, okay, and if we hide this, also your minimus, along with, here's your adductor magnus, okay, those also are the main stabilizers for hip extension that are going to work with your hamstrings and also your glute max. So what happens is when the medius here and the minimus are weak, then generally what you're going to see is you're going to see pulls on the biceps femoris. This kind of works down in this whole lateral chain here, and you don't have the support from here, well then more torque and pressure is going to be put on the biceps femoris, and this is where you see pulls either high or low along here. And the same if you have a weakness here in your adductor magnus, and what you have to realize too is that your adductor longus, okay, your gracilis, your pectineus, your brevis here, they all support in adduction, okay, along with the magnus here. So you also have to strengthen up these, okay, to build that support structure so that the magnus is really strong and supported. And so if this is weak, along with those other muscles, this is when you start seeing more semitendinosus pulls, either high or low, okay, more on the medial side of things. I haven't seen an athlete yet that's end up with a semimembranosus. I'm sure they're out there. I just haven't had a case yet that where this really overworks and pulls. Usually I see this and this. So now we're going to go in and we're going to show you the cases that we fixed. So this is Nick, and we're going to show, he pulled the outside of his hamstring, so we're going to show you the exercise we did to fix it.
Right, so that's something I pulled it's probably like a week or two before our bowl game, last game of the year, nagging thing. So I came back to core after the season was over, probably like a week or two following the season, and it was still bothering me. And we did it on a Friday, and coming in on Monday, it felt completely fine. So no pain, no issues, and it healed up fine.
And we were able to then train 100% before the combine.
Yeah, yep.
Not allowed to hit. All right, so we're going to show you the first glute exercise, okay, that we did. This is going to get more into the minimus, okay, because we're internally rotating, all right, rather than abducting. Okay, this is pure internal rotation of the hip. We're going to create a pivot point here, and we're using the 6-inch box here, okay. This is the perfect height to train at for both exercises. Okay. So what he's going to do, he's going to form a triangle. Go ahead. Yeah, get it right to the center of the box. Form a nice triangle, and the triangle is right over the calf, okay? And the reason you want to do this is if you don't have this position, what happens is you start bringing your knee up too high this way, and then you get TFL. So this is a good landmark to position yourself correctly. And then he gets onto his elbows here. And the other thing we do is we take this and we stick it right underneath the top of his groin here, so he can compress down in as he comes up. Then you just come up just like that, and it gets all into the minimus here. You're going to get medius too. So you want to feel kind of this when you're doing this. You want to feel this kind of half moon shape back into here, and you're just trying to come up as far as you can this way, okay? Drop it down and then compress into the pad. Notice how he's got an arch in his back. Lay flat. Okay, you don't want to do that. You won't have as much pressure. You want to get up and then you go. When I first started, I was probably right about, I don't know. He was right here. This is how tight he was, and he was tight because he's used to using his lateral rotators, the piriformis, okay, the sartorius, the biceps femoris, and those were all just locked down here because he didn't have any strength here. As he started getting stronger here, then you can raise up and come up and start really getting deep into that muscle there. Okay, rest, that's good. So what he's doing here is he's going to put an ankle weight on the bottom of his knee, or else if you put it on your ankle, you're not going to get any leverage with this exercise. And he's going to come over here, he's going to form a 90-degree angle, okay, with his body here. All right, this nice straight line. Then you're going to actually slide up from 90 a little bit so that your knee, okay, is in line with the bottom of your butt, right there. That's a great position right there.
So you want to feel it. If we're laying on our side in this position here, you want to feel it like right, if your hand's here, your palm, okay, right on the back of your butt, right where your palm is, you're going to feel it like right through here.
The next thing is I'm going to post his hand here. Okay, you don't want your hand to move, and he's going to roll his shoulder blades back. He's going to have a 45-degree angle with his butt. And all he's going to do is he's going to lift his leg, just lift your leg just a little bit, right to there, just super low, and see how he maintains his hip angle and back down. That's how you guys need to start so that this doesn't move. Go ahead, do a couple. Here's what you don't want to do. Go ahead and lift up and start rotating that way. This is what you don't want to do. So you might start just like a hair off the ground because you don't have the flexibility because your lateral rotators are clamping down on you like we talked on the other exercise because your medius is so weak, okay? And you might feel it in the groin if you go up too high. So just stay low, maintain the hip angle. That's all you're doing. And a good thing to do is if he puts his finger here, make a finger, watch how that finger's not going to move. Go ahead. Okay? If anything, it'll move forward with his hip. You see, that's what you want right there. See how nothing moves? If anything, that finger will move this way a little bit to lock the hips down. Okay? Now, to pass the test with this exercise, all he's trying to do is get your knee to parallel with the floor. So right to here, and he can maintain the hip angle. Back down. Show that again.
So if you want to learn how to do these exercises correctly and you have other issues like with your low back or your knees or other just hip flexor pulls, the best thing to do is to do private sessions with me, and the links in the details of the video.
So this athlete's not here to demonstrate it. He's like 3 hours away. So I'm going to have Nick demonstrate, but basically he pulled right around here on the inside of the hamstring. So you pulled your hamstring back in March, and just kind of go through the process.
Yeah, when I did that, when I pulled my hamstring back in March, just wasn't able to get back to normal sprinting. I found out about Zach at Core Excel, and then I just made time to come down here and start doing the exercises.
And so you've been here now for about 8 sessions, and would you say it's 100% now?
Yeah, I would say it's really about 100%.
So you've been sprinting, there's been no issues at all?
Yeah, no issues.
All right, we're done. Any pain?
No pain.
And keep in mind, just because they pulled on the inside of the hamstring, okay, we still do the first exercise that you saw, okay? We still work the glute medius and minimus because there can also be some weaknesses in there. But you're going to see that in abduction, okay, and also in hip flexion, the athlete's going to be extremely weak in these positions. And that's what they're primarily going to need to focus on. But you still want to do those other exercises well. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to just lay on our side here, nice and comfortable. We're going to take this leg. If it's here, we're going to move it outside the hip line here. Okay, see that? We're going to open this knee a little bit. So you want to feel this right through the whole center here, okay, into the magnus, and also the adductor chain. So this kind of long triangle right through here. We're going to lead with the heel, and we're just going to lift up. You don't have to lift that high. Go ahead, just right to here and back down. That's it. Lead with the heel and open this knee just a little bit more. So with this technique, okay, what we're going to do is, again, move this in. Okay, you don't want it here. You want it outside the hip line a little bit. We're just going to turn this knee in, okay, so it's in line with the center of the hip line. He's going to keep his shoulders down, but he's going to rotate all his weight over onto the side that he's going to be working. Flat, rotate over. So see how I can get a hand, okay, underneath here. That's how you want to do it. So with this exercise here, you want to feel in this kind of this upper triangle right here, the brevis and longus. Okay, we're actually going to be taking the magnus out of this, okay, and we're also trying to take the rectus femoris, which is your main hip flexor, out of this, and we're just concentrating on the brevis and longus so we can make this whole adductor chain very strong. This angle here is what he wants, the angle of his foot. He's going to just come straight up the pipe, right in the center line of the body, and back down. That's it. Just maintaining that angle.
So if you notice, we didn't do any hamstring exercise, okay? They're all just focused on the hips. And until you pass the test, okay, with each one of those exercises, we have certain weight loads and ranges of motion that you need to get to, and you can get that all through our app and the links in the video. And once they pass the test with the hips, I know they have the support, that's when we go back in and we start working on the hamstring specifically. And we start with easy exercise and then we progress to more challenging. But if you try to strengthen the hamstring before you have that support, like a lot of PTs and a lot of trainers do, all you're gonna do is wind up with a recipe for disaster for pulling the hamstring again.